right. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Spiritual View crew. We're so excited to be with you, and we're excited to share some time with everyone. So let's do a shout out, everyone. Let's say hello. Let's start with Dawn.
Hello, Dawn here. I'm getting really excited about the astrology coming up. So, hello.
Hey, everybody. It's Marsha. Happy Friday.
Hey, everyone. Elizabeth here. Happy Friday. Peace.
Hey, everybody. I'm Wendy. Nice to see you guys.
Hi, guys. It's Angie from Learn Love Tarot.
And then I'm rounding out the crew, Sari. And we've been setting off series, like your Apple phone. So if you hear echoes, sorry about that. I tend to wreak havoc with iPhones. Anyway, if you're new to us, welcome. We are so delighted to spend some time with you. We've got some great conversation today. We're going to pull some cards, and we're just delighted that you've joined us. So hit like, subscribe, and share if you're new to us. And again, we'll spend this hour just having conversation, finding out what's going on with all of you and the energy that's in the air. It's been a really interesting several weeks. And we're going to kick off today with Dawn to give us a little bit of flavor with the new moon. Before we do that, though, I do want to reference a video that Dawn just did, and she's going to post it in the chat for everyone. And it's a new moon video about setting rituals around your intentions. And she is going to explain a little bit more to you, but it's involving Hecate and setting intentions. And it's a beautiful video. So we're going to post that for each of you in the chat. So if you get a chance to do the ritual this weekend, prior to the new moon or during the new moon, it would be fabulous. So Dawn, why don't you get us started with the conversation regarding this upcoming new moon on September the 2nd?
Okay. One of the things to remember is that this moon, because it's in Virgo, is ruled by Mercury. So that has had a big effect on us. Mercury is now out of its retrograde and is going direct, but it's going through its shadow. And it's going back through Leo. So anything that we had issues with or problems with is now going to start solving the problem. And especially if you were held back with creativity, I realized that poor Leo, I was like, oh, why are you being blocked because of creativity? Well, it's because Mercury was retrograde in its sign. So anybody that has that super great, Leo creativity was being affected by that. So now we are moving through that. And then we're going to be going back into Virgo. That will actually happen on September 11th. So we will be creating, and then we will be putting that plan into action. That's part of what that Virgo energy will be. The actual new moon happens at 9:55 Eastern time on the 2nd. We will have a lot of energy behind that because we have Uranus is stationing and will be turning direct the day before. And Pluto on September 1st is entering back into Capricorn. So there's just when the planets, the slower planets, the outer planets change signs or moved station to go retrograde, either direct or retrograde, that is really, really powerful energy that shows up in the collective as well as in our own lives. So that's what's going on with that energy. The actual video that I did is actually completing a ritual of from start to finish where you can be with whoever is feeling called to watch the recording and lighting the candle and setting the intentions. I did do a separate video about Virgo and in the houses with this new moon so that you can get an idea what, depending upon the house that you have Virgo in, what you might use for setting intentions. But I do want to say of all I can think of that Virgo is very self-critical. And I think that is something that we're all guilty of, that we have to have everything. We feel like we have to be perfect. And I think that's one of the things that we have to step away from as we're moving forward and just give everybody grace and allow yourself that same grace as well as you're moving forward in this new time. Virgo is a very selfless energy as well. So giving too much is probably a problem with Virgo. But I just wanted to give that as an overview of what's going on in the current astrology. And does anybody have any questions for me currently regarding any of that
Yeah.
or other?
Dawn, I do. You know, we always talk about the full moon and our triggers of what we need to release. But obviously, this is a very powerful time for us with the energy. So could you talk to us about what we might anticipate with the energy and how we might manage ourselves? Because the first item you said was, you know, let's not be so hard on ourselves because we beat the crap out of ourselves, you know, constantly. And that negative self-talk, we've got to let that go. So could you just explain what we might be feeling and how we navigate through those energies that are around us?
Right. And I have the fortunate job of also looking at other astrologers, people that I respect out there. And there's going to be a lot of things happening out in the collective. And this is what is an important thing to remember is don't give into fear of what's going to happen in the future or anger about how someone else is behaving. You're giving away your power when you do that. And that is what you need to remember. You giving away your power is going to affect you with all this collective energy. If the people that are giving into that anger and giving into that fear and feeling like, you know, the fear is like, I need to hoard stuff. I need to, you know, I think in the reading that I did earlier today, it was about, you know what? I felt like the money was burning. And to me, it's like, okay, so what happens if we don't have the money situation like we're used to having? And this is globally, not just us, it's global. What happens? Well, we go back to what we used to do and trade and barter and share. And I think when you take a look at what's going on in the energy, and the feminine is going to be in charge of all of this going forward. I think they are the answer to a lot of this energy moving forward, not releasing any of the anger that you might have for things that aren't. Pluto is going to be breaking down things in Capricorn, and those would be big business, big banks, big government. All of that is going to be redone. So it's going to take a couple years. Things are going to look like it's a mess. But if you keep that energy of being in a more of a watching it happen kind of view, where you're just an observer and you keep your spiritual practices of being grounded and setting intentions and working with other spiritual people, it will be amazing. It will be, we'll avoid getting the backwash of some of the things that are going to be happening on the collective. It's almost like a protection in and of itself when you don't participate in that kind of energy, right? So that's what I would say. I think that that's the two biggest things of advice that I've seen the astrologers give, that we know things are going to get crazy. We can't even exactly define what those things are going to be, but the keys are, this is supposed to be happening. This is meant to happen. These things that are unfolding over the next 2 to 3 years, and even between now and the end of the year, there's things. And it's like, okay, just be an observer and know that whatever's happening is for everybody's greatest and highest good. It's going to be a mess. It will be. But it's actually going to work out in your favor. If you don't have fear and if you have anger, it'll be something that protects you as you're moving forward. That's the biggest takeaway for me in all of this energy. So
Well said.
I see that more and more every day.
Yeah, thank you. And welcome, Jen. Hi. We've got Jen. All right. Were there any other questions for Dawn, even in the chat, or from any of on the screen?
I have a question for you, Dawn. You're talking about Pluto going into Capricorn and that it was going to be a big energy change, right? It was going to have a big impact. Can you give us a little bit more information about that, like what it means that Pluto's going into Capricorn and maybe how long that's going to last?
Okay. Capricorn, Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008, and that was around the time of the big banking crisis. So that's when all of the big bank things were breaking down. And then you also have, there were, governmental changes and things. Now they had to, because of that, there had to be additional regulations, blah, 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 blah. So it affected everything. Pluto goes in and shines a light on all the cockroaches, basically, and then tells you to clean them out. Because that's what Pluto does. It's like gets rid of that. So what has happened that's very unusual is normally Pluto ingresses in and out, and it's done it twice. And this is the third time, which it never does. Never. So it's something completely beyond what we can expect, right? It's something unprecedented. So that is one of the pieces of that. Also, because we have it's like, I call it Pluto's hold my beer moment, where it's going to go back in and create, again, a bit of a mess, because it's breaking down those energies of big business is changing. I don't care if it's big medical companies or other things. All of that is going to be changing in big ways for everyone. And it'll be the start of those big changes with what's going on in Capricorn. It will last. The actual time is from September 1st through like November 20th. But I think some of the things that are behind the scenes, it could be starting a earthquake that slowly shakes things up and will destroy things more later on, where we are going to see Uranus is about truth. We're going to see so much exposed in out with everybody out there, and you'll know it's true. That's what we've been all teaching ourselves, to listen to our intuition. So it'll be more about the banks. There's going to be more issues with the banks. There's going to be more issues with the government. There's going to be more issues with big business, all of those things. And that's why we have to remember AI is out there, and that will change people's jobs in a big way. What your children will do for jobs in the future, we would not even have conceived of. And we wouldn't be able to conceive of it right now. But in 5-10 years, that's going to be so different. It will allow us, hopefully, to explore ourselves more as human beings and what our true path is. And that, I believe, is, in a longer term view, one of the things that the North Node going into Pisces is going to be illuminating, with Neptune still there at that time, and with Saturn in there. So that's really getting those spiritual practices into place. But that energy that's coming up, there's just so much that's going on that's going to be broken down. And it takes a while to get, to redo laws and rules, like it did with the financial crisis with the banks. Look at how long it took to work through all of that mess. Okay, this is a huge mess that happened. Now what do we do? Well, they have to start the cleanup. Then they have to create the laws. Then they have to, investigate. So there's all of that energy, not just for the banks. I think there's going to be a lot of banks still having that issue, but governments, all kinds of governments. Over 50% of the countries in the world have elections this year. So it's not just a United States thing. It's all over. So that's why it's like, it's not what's going to happen. Things that need to change are going to be changing. And we just have to be aware and use the mutable energy as much as you can, because it's Pluto. You're not going to fight this. You're not going to say, oh no, it's not going to happen that way. It's happening that way. You have to go just be like, oh, take a Virgo issue, perfect Virgo example. Virgo is a mutable sign. Something happens, Virgo goes, okay, what are my assets and how can I use them to form a new plan? And you'll be doing that probably over and over again a couple times, but it's also working with other people, new relationships with that Libra eclipse energy of, okay, I have learned how to not go along to get along. I have boundaries, but I have ability to work with other people and manage things together. So it'll be much more of a communal type. Local solutions are going to be much more valuable for people. So I hope that somewhat explains that, Wendy, for you. But it's a big thing, and there's going to be so much truth shown, that people are going to be like, oh, we got to change this. That's part of what's going to be happening.
We did have a question in the comments for you, Dawn. We've got, what did you say in your reading today about the 6 degrees in Leo?
Leo is, one of the things that's happening is Mars is going to be going retrograde. And it's going to be starting its retrograde on, it goes into its shadow, which means it's will have entered Cancer. And when it enters its shadow, that's 17 degrees of Cancer. So from 17 degrees of Cancer onward to 6 degrees of Leo, that is where Mars is going to be retrograding. And that's very strong energy. And I've warned people that, oh, gee, if Mars is your ruling planet, AKA Scorpio or Aries, that will directly affect you because that's your ruling planet. And then you're going to look at the houses of what is Leo for you and what is Cancer for you. Everybody will have to deal with that. Whenever Mars goes through a retrograde, it happens every 2 years. You look at the houses that those signs are in for you to see where that's going to be happening. And it's a bigger lesson if you have it going conjunct over any of your inner planets. So I am going to have 6 degrees of Leo is opposite my moon in Aquarius, but it's going to be going back into Cancer and will be going over my natal sun. So this is something that's going to affect me in a big way because it's my moon and my sun that are getting direct hits. And because it's 6 degrees of Leo and 17 degrees of Cancer, those are the stationing points. So those get extra juice for people. So if you have points directly around that within, I would say within 3 degrees for that retrograde, you're going to be feeling it. You're going to be feeling those degrees. Everybody will, but it's going to be extra lessons for you as a person going through those things. So I'm like, I know that I'm going to have to tough this out because I remember what it was like when Mars 2 years ago went through Gemini, retrograded through Gemini over my ascendant. And that was quite the change for me. And it lasts from, it will actually be going on December 6th or 7th is when it starts its retrograde and will not go direct until February. But the entire time of the shadow and then covering the shadow is almost 7 months. So it is a cycle that we will feel. But it's always a good lesson that we learn, and it's the energy that it will take with us moving forward. So that was one of the big things about that 6 degrees of Leo that I wanted to highlight. Oh, yes. Yes, Cherokee was discovered at 6 degrees. It was discovered at 6 degrees Leo, but of Leo, I don't usually mention that. I'm well aware of it because, again, it's opposite my moon. But yeah, that's more of a people that are much more into the asteroid goddesses. Cherokee is about healing, and that will also help with healing because to me, it's that masculine and feminine, which I was probably going to cover as we get closer to the March time, because to me, a lot of this energy that's going on is masculine, I think, is going to school is the best way I want to put it. They're going to get some lessons that they weren't expecting. And then the other energy of divine feminine, which is more of a receiving energy, I think we're going to be the ones that are going to handle everything like, okay, things aren't working my way. Yeah, used to that energy. Okay. And then working with other divine feminine, like, okay, we got this. How many eggs you got? Okay, I have this. You know, that's a pretty dire explanation of it, but really you take that energy with you when you're like, there's not anything that women together cannot handle. That's my feeling. We can handle anything together. So I really want to look at that for people in the future as we're going forward, because it's getting stronger in all of my card readings. It's just like divine feminine are like, they're holding court and they're like managing all the problems. And, you know, divine masculine is having all of their little hissy fits because things aren't going their way anymore. Like their banks are failing, their businesses are going under, it's like, So yeah, that's the big energies going forward. There's a lot of healing coming. For sure. For sure. It's fascinating astrology, and it's so big. The astrologers that I am well aware of too are also saying this astrology, there hasn't been this much big astrology constantly since, a couple of years ago until 3 or 4 years out. This frame of time is unmatched astrologically. So it's hard to pinpoint little things to separate things out because it's all blending together. It's all one emerging story is how I'll put it. It's an emerging story that's coming out for everyone. But don't deal with fear and don't deal with anger. Walk away from it. And that's really hard now because people are really stupid. But learn to bite your tongue and walk away. And I have gotten headaches because I roll my eyes so much. But truly, it's not worth having the argument. At this point, you're not changing anybody's mind at all.
Exactly. I agree with that.
So are we ready to start doing some readings?
I think so. So we were going to start with Angie. And I think, Angie, you were going to pull for Aries. Is that what I got?
For
Eri, E-R-I.
Okay, I was trying to look. I just haven't seen anybody with any questions, but happy to do so. I just saw that hello. And I saw a new person here too.
Barry said,
Okay, so
I'm a
E-R-I.
little unsettled. I'm a Capricorn rising. He goes into all of that. But Angie, he's just, or she, sorry, honey, unsettled, did well in August, but after a dream last night, I'm exhausted.
Okay, little dream weaver. What you dreaming up there, Miss Ari?
Capricorn rising, Aquarius sun, Cancer moon, if that helps you too. But yeah, good in August, probably wanting some input about September.
Okay, well, let's see let's ask what Aries dream was, what message Aries dream might have been trying to bring to her. I'm going to start my timer there. And my fingers are still not as functional as they should be because after I got done talking about how clumsy I am on the live on the Spiritual View on Thursday, I promptly fell on my face, tripping over the dog gate. So it was literally within maybe 15 minutes after I said that, after I ended that. So
I'm sorry.
a little bit slower of a shuffle. Yeah. All right, Miss Ari, what is your
tripped right
dream?
here
What's
over
that?
my cat? Tripped right here over a very fat cat not too long ago.
Always
Jeez,
tripping over
they
something,
don't
but
see
then I'm
me
like,
coming. See me
maybe I
coming?
just shouldn't talk about it. All right, Miss Ari, what your dream weaver? What's your dream trying to weave to you here, dear Miss Aries? Dream advice about your dream. Okay, we've got a wait for winter, so it's purple, so that is connected to your intuition and into your third eye. You are trying to get a message here. During the colder months, the Fairy Queen of Winter will help you manifest your most heartfelt wishes, as long as your intentions are for the highest good of all. Okay, so that was trying to maybe bring to light something from your subconscious. Usually that's what dreams are doing there. Environmental energy of healing here, and she is holding a rainbow from palm to palm, which I've seen a bunch of, in particular today. And now is a time for you to heal or give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, Ari, even you. So what this is telling me, your subconscious is trying to get you a message here. Especially, did you write down, I don't know if you wrote down anything about that dream or not, but they always have little symbols of clues in there that we can look up and investigate and journal about. I often, as soon as I start writing about my dream, That's when I get those intuitive hits and downloads. And just if you've never tried automatic writing before, that might be something you want to try here, Miss Airy. I'll try one more shuffle. Yeah, trying to alert you there's some kind of burden you need to be putting down here, and it's trying to come through to you in your dreams. This winter energy is a very Aquarian energy for me, showing the world the real you. It feels like these are some kind of gifts trying to come through to you or trying to alert you here. What is this dream here for Miss Airy? Okay, so healing here with that environmental energy. We just talked earlier about all the 10s coming up. So there's some kind of energy of healing here as far as a burden you need to put down. We look at the 10 of Swords in that quote unquote fingers, quote fingers of the regular deck of the Rider Waite deck. It shows the figure looking towards the sun. The sun is coming up. The 10s mean you're done with this. So the end is the 9. The 10 is the okay, the little in between time. It is a 10 day or a 1 day. And this is something that we really need to not let past pains affect us moving forward, because we are moving forward here. In order to move away from this kind of an energy, if it felt more like a nightmare kind of energy, which comes up in the Mermaid deck with the 9 of Swords, the nightmaids, and the nightmare siren. This is like you're not allowing yourself, you holding on to some kind of heaviness here and not setting it down is affecting your ability to move forward and to heal. Yeah, it's affecting your confidence here and affecting your glow up. So if you're coming up as this energy wants to come in as soon as you can set down this 10 of Swords, but what's happening here, because we're not walking away from 8 of Cups that are broken and disappointed us, we do feel in the environmental energy, God has forsaken me. Where are the keys? Where am I looking here? But if you can see, I just said, I feel like messages are trying to get to you here. Jot them down and try to figure them out. They're just going to get more intense. There's all these blue ribbons of ancestors, of your guides. They're trying desperately to help you with this here and to help bring in a victory for you and manifest what it is that you want. But there's healing that you're either avoiding, that is not actually conscious to you yet here. What is the solution to this healing? Last card, please. They're wanting you to look at an issue that that needs put to rest. You could be having behavior. This is really affecting your confidence here. It's like really getting in the way. Thank you. Yeah, information. There's some new learning here that needs to be done. This is, I just said, they're trying to get you messages desperately. This is what will help lead you forward. They're trying to help the messages from the 5D come into the 3D. So Page of Pentacles is all about what I'm learning. It's the most learned page. There's this like final leg of something here that you're not quite setting down something. So that last little clue area is obscured from your view, which is also stopping this magician, this new start energy. Okay, it's waiting here for you. Victory is waiting, but you're not picking up what they're putting down. So I would definitely look up some dream journals, look up some information on that automatic writing. Check out dreammoods.com is one of my favorites because it gives you several different contexts to the symbols that you see in your dream. What information might be trying to come to you from the Page of Pentacles? Yeah. Where you can better spend your energy, time, money, resources, your talents. There's a talent that's trying to come through to you that you are unaware of, and it could have to do with a healing gift. But first, you have to use it on yourself so that you can bring it into the 3D. This is like something you're supposed to figure out, I think, is why they're being so obscure here with like, she needs to figure this out. This is your job to figure this part of it out. Then those floodgates are going to open as soon as we stop being in the energy of blame, shifting any kind of guilt you may feel about your abundance. It's really holding back your gifts and your confidence, but they're trying to come in here, girlfriend. They are trying to come through. It is not for us to say what those are for you, because that's the whole point. You have to discover them for yourself. So when spirit is this like going around, rocking around the mulberry bush so many times, we can't do that for you. And I hate that answer. But there's healing that you need to do. We did just talk about Chiron, and it's whatever you feel is stopping you from stepping that foot forward. That's exactly where that wound is that needs to be looked at. And that's not for us to say, but it's like literally the floodgates will open as soon as you do that. There is more. There's a lot more. Yeah. I hope that helps at least a little bit. I'll type into the comments that website for you there, kiddo.
Okay, so up next we have Suri, and she is pulling for, let's see, Country Carpenter.
Yeah, hi. It's the first time I've seen your name, and I resonate with country because I grew up in Tennessee, the town actually next to Jen, and I get to see her next week because I'll be in Nashville. So welcome to the channel. If I'm not sure what your first name is, but I just felt called to pull some cards. What was Spirit trying to tell you today for joining us? The first card I got was around belief. It's a 11. You can see, I'll pull it closer up to the screen, and that's a master number, and it is 2. 1 + 1 = 2. Very foundational, but again, it's a beautiful card around the frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and our talents and a strong connection to source. So belief is one of the most powerful driving forces toward action and change. It can be best described as a state of mind that we experience when we think something is true. And I know that we've heard this phrase, and I've said this on one of my videos on a Sunday, is oftentimes we have to see it before we can believe it. And what Spirit's asking us to believe, and it comes through our heart, not being in our head, we have to believe first before we can actually manifest it or see it. So I think there's a powerful message for you here around trusting your beliefs, trusting your intuition. And you also see beautiful purple here. So again, just like Ange, connecting in through the third eye, your intuition. What are your beliefs? And do you trust your instincts? Do you trust yourself? And so this is Spirit's first message to you to consider. Second message I just pulled, this was the surrender card. This is a beautiful card, and you see again this beautiful energy that's between his hands. It's white, but you also see he's dressed in purple, and he's got this beautiful gold, white, and looks like kind of rose-colored light around his crown chakra and his third eye. And surrender is a spiritual practice, and it's not easy. I think this is probably, for me, this is the hardest part, is surrendering to the journey. You can believe and then see, but sometimes you don't even know where you're going. So even if you do believe, sometimes your sight isn't there. So you've got to trust your third eye. You've got to trust your intuition, and you've got to take it one step at a time. So if you're struggling with a situation or an opportunity that's out there for you, but you don't see the clear way forward, what this is saying is Spirit wants you to surrender to the journey and watch the signs for what Spirit wants to bring to you, and to trust your gut, trust your intuition. And when you don't know what to do, drop into your heart center, because your heart will tell you what to do. The last message that I got for you today, and this is from the Sea Oracle, and this is called Fluid. And I'm going to read this to you. May you shift and transform. The sea is always moving, changing, adapting, and transforming, finding a way through. To be fully in the sea is to embrace the constant flow of life, to find power and ability to shapeshift. May you find flexibility. May you see potential. May you discover your strength in movement and flow. May you adapt. The mantra is, I move onward as the stream finds a way to the sea. So Spirit is actually saying, surrender, trust your instincts, but also be fluid and flexible in what and how the answers come to you. Because oftentimes when we manifest, we say to the universe, we want it this way, we want it that way. We try to predetermine and tell the universe exactly how we want it. And I think some of my humble learnings have been, when you say it to the universe will listen, but oftentimes it comes back in the form that you need, not always what you want. And so Spirit is going to bring you exactly what is on your journey and what's right for you. So the tarot cards I pulled today, I just pulled these from the Light Seers deck. And the first one that came up is Temperance. And again, this is Archangel Michael. This is a beautiful energy of flow. So there's some messages around surrender, around balance, around flow. And sometimes this is involving forgiveness. And when I get the Temperance card, at times it can also mean, have we forgiven ourselves? Have we been too critical and too harsh on ourselves? Just like Dawn pointed out with the new moon. So it's an opportunity to reflect upon the fact that Archangel Michael is around you and supporting you and giving you strength, but helping you remain in flow to surrender to what the universe wants to bring you. But what's interesting, you've got the Two of Swords. So you've had some moments of either pause or reflection or perhaps indecision about what to do and how to move forward. But what Spirit is trying to bring you is the Queen of Wands. And this is a beautiful energy. She's a badass queen and she takes no prisoners. And I love her because she's got her sight set on what she wants and she's going after it. So I think Spirit's message is saying there is a lot ahead for you, and take the reins of this beautiful energy of the Queen of Wands. But in order to grasp her strength and her grace, surrender's involved. Forgiveness and being in the flow is involved. And the last one was, again, you must believe before you can see. So those are the messages from Spirit today. They kind of go along with the new moon, Dawn. And I think those are messages for all of us. But Country Carpenter, I love the handle. I love the name. And I just wanted to welcome you to the channel and to say thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Okay, so up next we have Dawn.
Hi,
Would you
I'm going to be
reading
reading
for-
for Jeanette. Thank you. And what I was actually pulling some oracle cards for you, Jeanette. And let me answer your question there. If the 2007 to 2013 timeline, what happens then will repeat. I will tell you, in astrology, there's a saying that says history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So what generally will happen is that you'll have different, not necessarily for you, like the example of the financial crisis is, okay, now is more going to be found out about that time back then that we're going to address. Are people going to be held to account? Are there going to be lawsuits regarding that? Are some people going to go to prison? I mean, they didn't before. So it's that kind of thing that might be coming up. It'll be, in a sense, an echo of it, but not necessarily an actual repeat of that same history. So what I pulled, I was looking at my cards and thinking Sari was saying things that I was like coming right out of my mouth, I swear. So the very first card that came up was mental conflict. Mental conflict. There are going to be things that people, your first instinct will be anxiety and fear. And then the next card that came out, spiritual strength. Ground that energy in, knowing that you being grounded and setting your intentions and not giving into the fear. It's like, okay, when people are doing that, that's when you have all of that energy in, especially with Uranus going on, all that energy of thought racing, and you don't come up with a great solution when all you can do is just go over and over what the problem is. You don't come up with a solution that way. So you need your spiritual strength to just calm things down and get you to a place where, okay, let me think this through logically. Let me see what my assets are. That's the beauty of this Virgo being a mutable sign, that it's like, okay, new plan, just like Gemini, new plan, just like Sag, new plan, right? Pisces. So then what comes out, bring in that spiritual strength, movement, choices, decisions. You're going to have lots of choices. And I also believe that if you feel like you make a decision and you're afraid it's going to be the long one, what is meant for you will come back to you. So you have to bear that in mind. And a lot of times what will happen is the universe has a lesson plan for you, and you will do that first before it comes back around and gives you what your choice should have been in the first place that you felt. So I think that is part of this energy as well right now, is that whatever choice that you make, that's the choice that is right for that moment. Just as long as you're not doing it in fear or in anger. You can't make choices out of fear or feel like someone is pressuring you, trying to make you fearful in order to make a decision that you don't want to make. You need to have that spiritual strength. And the other part coming in for me was this solar plexus chakra that came out. It's like, okay, go deep. This is what brings to me, it's like, this is your courage chakra, right? This is that solar plexus. This is where you get your strength from. It is right below the heart chakra. So it's very much a definite feeling of inner strength is your answer. And I don't believe that, how's it say? There is no such thing as a wrong decision. Especially during this time when the astrology is so strong, I think everybody is being guided down what their path should be. And you get the better end of your choices when you learn a bit about the astrology and what you can make work for you. It's just like you have Mars. Mars is in a square with Saturn. Not a great thing. Usually right now that's kind of coming up from the battles that are in the Middle East, and also what was going on with Putin. So some of that stuff might come back around. But the idea is you take a higher timeline. You take, okay, what does Mars mean in my life and what does Saturn mean in my life? You should always be looking at it from that direction personally. And it's like, okay, how can I release some of this energy and have a control valve of it? With Mars, it's action. Physically using action helps. And with Saturn, it's that long term. It's someone said a Mars Saturn square is like a rocky moment. You have to do a lot of things and you're working through a lot of things, but then you're going to be ready for later on what happens, right? It's going to test you. It's going to make you work. But because you're doing all those things as you have to, you're going to be very well prepared when the big battle comes, right? And to me, there's just so many things astrologically that I think we're getting prepared for. I think naturally we're following that, but you can make it easier on yourself if you know how to release some of that pressure by good food, exercise, good rest, and keeping in that lower anxiety and higher vibration. So I hope that helped. I will pull quickly. I wanted to use this deck. So let me pull 3 cards, or have 3 cards volunteer for you. I hope that helps, Janet. Specifically for you, but this is like an answer for a lot of people, because I think this is what's coming up for everyone. Queen of Coins. Self-care. Knowing what you want, where you want to spend your money. It's that's you. You be in charge of that. 3 of Coins. The 3 of Coins energy, it's being able to work well with others, truly. And this card looks a little bit scary, so I had to go look it up when I first saw it, because I was like, why are these scary people behind this little girl? Actually, she is their apprentice. and they are very happy with how she's doing. This is a Japanese fable. So I like that. 5 of Swords. There's always another answer, even though you might be disappointed. There's always another answer. And you can't let other people, to me, it's like all these other people are in your ears. Swords are very much thoughts. And I don't think the answer is going by what everybody else is saying. I don't think that's going to help you at all. It's like, okay, panic is a form of anxiety. You have to just stop and go, okay, what do I need today? I have food, I have water, I have shelter. And I don't think I always overestimate how big the astrology is going to be, but actually it can be just a little, I'm expecting like this, like a big hill, and it's a little molehill that happens. It's like the action is actually not as big as what I was expecting. I think that's true too, but we're just in very huge astrology going on. And the Knight of Wands, living in the moment. Enjoy what you can enjoy every day. It's really important, and it'll help you put things into perspective. So that's for you. I hope that was helpful. I will pass it on to who is ever coming next.
Okay, next up is Wendy. And let's see, she is reading for Larissa.
Yes. Hi, Larissa. Okay, so you had asked for message from Oracle, and then you had also mentioned something about mirror numbers. So I'm going to just touch on mirror numbers really quick. Just from what I know of it is that it's, especially with your birthday, if your birthday's popping up, it's kind of saying like, pay attention. Okay, so pay attention to what's going on around you. It's time for you to reconnect with yourself. And it can also, with mirror numbers in general, it can be kind of a link to the spiritual realm or the, the fifth dimension. So I hope that helps with that a little bit. For your message from Oracle, I pulled some cards and I got Curiouser and Curiouser, Discovery, Inquiry, Weirdness, Curiosity. I think mostly it's saying like, ask questions. Why are you making the decisions that you are? How are you spending your time? How are you using your energy? What are you putting out there? What are you trying to attract? What are you trying to bring back in? And that kind of goes with that, those numbers that you're seeing of like, hey, pay attention, look around you, take a minute, take a beat to see, what's going on. Okay. Then we have follow your own good advice. Trust yourself. You know what is best for you, right? Again, that message of trusting your intuition, again, very much like Cerise and some of Dawn's there. It's like, this seems to be a time where people are going to be starting to go through change. And right now we have the time to stop and think about what we want to have happen, how we want to move forward. Okay. So it's a really good time to kind of slow down, really get in tune with yourself, think about what it is that you want, how you want to move forward. And of course, I also have uncertainty, choose who you will become, because it's really easy to second guess ourselves, right? It's really easy to not believe that we have what we need, or that we're not ready, or, all of these things. But you need to believe that you can do that, because you are creating your own future. Only you know what path you need to walk. And ultimately, you're going to make those decisions. Yes, things are going to affect you, but every second of every day, we're making decisions, whether we're aware of them or not, and we're walking a path, right? So I would say release any uncertainty you have, because you are creating the life that you want. You are an active participant in that. And that's why it's so important to take the time to kind of slow down and pay attention and really think about what it is you want, what your intent is in moving forward. Okay. I also pulled just a couple of cards for next steps, and I got Breath and Fire. And again, this is just, breath is that taking a beat and just, soaking everything in, taking that breath, just really focusing on what it is you want to do moving forward. And then with the fire, it's just follow your passion, the things that make you happy. That's the best driver of all. You want to move towards those things that make you feel good. Right. So Larissa, I hope that helped you today with and answered your questions. And let's see who's next. Thank you.
All right, so I am up next, and I have pulled cards for Amber. Okay, so Amber wants to know what is happening for her in the month of September. And so I pulled first from my oracle, I got discernment. So you're going to need to be on your toes and really paying attention in September. See the truth of the situation, use common sense, and do not be fooled. Pay attention and use your intuition. And I feel like that this is connected to, it feels most connected to your work, because I think that you're, right here, I pulled this card from the Light Seers Tarot. We have the Hierophant. And this is the what you need to have discernment for. And so it's about something that you're very committed to. And this feels like it's something that has been in your life for a while. And the reason why is because of the Four of Cups. And so that tells me that this is not paying off as much as what you think that it should. You feel like that there should still be something more being given to you, and you're just not seeing the reward just yet. And so the advice is the Eight of Pentacles, which is you have not quite gotten to the mastery level yet. So if you'll just stay on task, stay focused, just keep at it, you will get there. Because from the Art of Manifestation Oracle, I've got the Persevere card. And so I think that it's going a lot slower than what you want it to. The discernment is the thing that I picked up right away, is that you're just very unclear. And the bottom of the deck was the Seven of Cups, which kind of echoes that confusion that you're feeling. And so just keep going with the Persevere. Who would have thought that a humble acorn could grow into a mighty oak tree? But of course, this takes time. Whatever you are involved in, this card brings a message of reassurance. Your hard work and continued effort and dedication will come to fruition. You are asked to persevere and trust. And so, I mean, that keeps coming back. That's the message for me right there, is that you're confused about it, but it's just because you're not seeing the full picture yet. And so use your intuition, trust your intuition, and keep going. You're on the right path. You are headed towards mastery of this. So again, I do feel like it's connected with your work, but it could be also the other thing I was getting could be a marriage was the part that the other two parts I was getting. So it was either your work or your marriage that you're confused about what you need to do, but it's going to pay off. You just have to keep moving on that path. All right. Now I don't see her in the comments to see if she even picked up on that. Let's see. Okay. All right. So that's all I've got for Amber. So next up is going to be Elizabeth.
Yes. Hey, I am reading for Delilah. I hope you're still here. I'm going to go as quick as possible. I've done a little numerology for you and a few cards. So here we go. Write this down. Your life numerology code is 7961. So a couple things I want you to remember about that when you see tarot cards. The Chariot, the number 7, divinely guided, so intuitive. The number 9, the Muse, the Prophet, the Hermit. And you also have the 6 in you. So that's a type of mirroring number as well, where I want you to understand you probably sometimes spin, but if you can do the inner work, the outer work will flow, if that makes any sense. And then lastly, you have a 1 in you, which is much like the magician, the intuitive. These numbers, I just know you are such an old soul with a lot of soul contracts in this time. this year for you is a number 6, which is about emotional healing. So Delilah, I don't know what happened last year or if you've suffered some losses and things like that, but you're no longer numb from it. This is really a good opportunity to heal. You're going to have some feelings of being overwhelmed and a lot of fear of change and things like that going on. But I want you, it's okay. Yeah, like they all said, you know, let's manage the fear as best you can in really healthy ways and keep that at a minimum. And then the emotional recovery will really come to you. And a lot of confidence is needed. So I do want you to remember the Queen of Wands. Move forward with passion, sweetheart. Keep your confidence going. Let go of any anger issues, any abandonment issues, any fear. Okay, just be the queen and just try to move forward with a lot of creativity and excitement. I have the 7 of Wands here for you too, and sometimes that can be about some attacks and things coming at you, but in this case, I really want you to focus. Oh, you're welcome, Delilah. I really want you to focus on strength and determination to get through this and to really embrace the emotional healing and the opportunities that are coming in, because I know you feel like there's a lot of loss, but it's getting better. And I'm sorry about the lighting, but I also pulled the World for you. And that is a whole new cycle coming in for you. And I'm going to break it down to a 3 because I have to. It's about these new opportunities coming in. It's about some things to start celebrating. It's the confidence that you know everything's going to be okay, and some fulfillment coming in. So I hope that helps and gives you some hope. Mwah. Peace. Crud. Can I tell her one more thing? This is super important. I forgot. I got so lost in those cards. The moon. Delilah, you have to hear this. This was the only card I was going to pull, and then I pulled more. Something deep within you is awakening. This is what I'm talking about, okay? Make space for that beautiful moonbeam to glow and gain light. I won't read everything, but it really reiterates what I told you. Especially like make some plans with this new moon and then celebrate some things as the full moon comes right with the energy that you need with that Queen of Wands. And a lot of creativity is coming in. Also, the moon cultivates sensitivity and keen perception, and you're going to be able to move through this experience with ease. So like, again, you're no longer numb. Your intuition is coming so bright. I can see it. A lot of hope. And what else am I hearing? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I lost it. There was like a message and I lost it. Okay. I'm sorry. I hope that helps though. Shoot. Oh, the veil is super thin. I don't know. It keeps coming up. So I just want you to tap into your intuition and your inner strength.
Alrighty, I think it looks like we're coming up on the hour, and we're going to close since we're at kind of a good ending point. And we just love doing these readings, so please join us. We're on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe we'll be on for Labor Day at 10 a.m. And for those of you who can join us, we'll see as many readings as we can get in. You'll have your questions ready, and we also are on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to join us as well. We also do daily videos. If you have not checked those out, they're in the description box below. Again, many of you are traveling for the holidays, so please be safe, stay grounded, stay rested, forgive yourself, and just, take a chill pill and don't be so hard on yourself. And let's all just kind of energetically hold hands through this new moon and set some beautiful intentions as we manifest in the energies and the lives that we want to create. And so with that, we're going to end our session today with heartfelt thanks for all of you being here. We couldn't do this without you. And we are forever blessed that you are with us. So with that, everyone have a wonderful, lovely, and safe weekend. Happy holidays.